Well, as if we needed another sign of the box office underperformance of The Mandalorian and Grogu, here's an example. This article is from Geeks and Gamers. The Mandalorian and Grogu loses #1 box office spot to low-budget horror film Obsession. Yeah, so this is how bad it is for The Mandalorian and Grogu. This is how bad it is. It's been knocked off the top spot of the box office by a film that cost a fraction of its budget to make. It says Disney's hopes of reigniting theatrical Star Wars momentum have suffered another setback as The Mandalorian and Grogu has reportedly lost the #1 spot at the domestic box office to the low-budget horror film Obsession. So Obsession is a relatively low-budget horror movie, and its budget is actually $1 million. And it overtook The Mandalorian and Grogu, which is a film with a budget of $165 million. So 165 times the budget. I mean, that really says it all. And you know what? I think that the Backrooms film, which I'm really looking forward to, is going to take the top spot in the box office as well with its opening weekend, which is this weekend, in fact. On Wednesday, the film dropped to second place as the low-budget horror sensation Obsession reclaimed the top spot. According to box office figures, Obsession earned $5,634,105 for the day, while The Mandalorian and Grogu brought in $4,194,737. In addition to demonstrating how this Mandalorian and Grogu movie probably didn't speak to enough people, just didn't impress enough people, its box office underperformance relative to a small budget horror movie just goes to show a film doesn't need a massive budget in order to be financially successful. The low-budget indie movie scene has, for years, given us these surprise hits and showcased highly creative, innovative, and unconventional filmmaking. And as they say, sometimes necessity is the mother of invention, and a smaller budget forces filmmakers to come up with interesting ways of making their films. A tight budget often means that filmmakers cannot rely on extensive reshoots, CGI, and special effects. They have to come up with clever, imaginative ways of solving problems during the filmmaking process, which often generates new creative modes of thinking and interesting ideas. So that's why so often, if you want to see some fresh and unique cinema, the indie scene is more likely to provide that than mainstream Hollywood. And it's been like that for a long time. Hollywood continues to bank on making generic action movies based on big franchise IPs. And this can often lead to safe, predictable, formulaic movies that lack imagination. And when it comes to IPs like Star Wars, well, those kinds of movies are very expensive to make. The Mandalorian and Grogu might have worked better as a season of the Mandalorian TV series rather than a big budget movie that fans weren't really looking for. It was a middle-of-the-road movie at best and quite boring in places, and so all the money that was thrown at it was a waste. It was a waste of money because it's unlikely to recoup its budget at this point. And I think, again, this highlights something I've been talking about for a long time, which is the wastefulness of Hollywood. Oftentimes, when I look at many big budget movies, I'm kind of thinking, where is the money here? I'm not seeing it on screen. Meantime, a movie that cost only $1 million, Obsession, has managed to outperform The Mandalorian and Grogu at the box office, proving that audiences care more about interesting, quality storytelling and entertainment value than all the visual bells and whistles of a big budget blockbuster. That's going to do it for today, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Take care. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.